Yeah.
We could be looking at other things then, couldn't we? Because what's happening here is this company now have had to send out managers and staff to obviously come and deal with yourself, and they're just kindly asking you, can you please stop filming?
Yeah, but I'm doing photography in a public place.
He's the manager, isn't he? And what he's saying is that because of the nature of the materials and the goods that are inside of this building,
but it's not unlawful to do photography from a public place.
It's again with that company.
When he's called you, I thought I'd wait.
What's your name? Sorry.
I didn't give my name.
What's your name?
I don't need to give you my name, do I?
Well, at the moment, we've been called, and as a police officer, I'm asking for your details.
Why?
Because, like I said, obviously at the moment, you're ultimately what's happening here. Okay, so I've had a chat with the site manager.
Yeah.
And I'm listening and understanding your point in saying that you've obviously come off the property.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know if you know anything about Concordia, but having had a chat to the manager here, it's quite a secure building. All right.
Yeah.
You're not allowed on there. That's come from him.
Yeah.
Okay. And he's politely asked you to move on and obviously stop recording because of the nature of the supplies and the goods within the site.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before we even get into the back and forth you're about to see, let's set the stage. Because this case is a textbook example of how lawful activity turns into a pressure campaign when police confuse requests with powers. What you're watching unfolds in a public industrial area where a YouTube auditor is doing something completely legal. Photography from a public place. No trespass, no obstruction, no crime. Yet within minutes, multiple officers arrive, not to enforce the law, but to manage discomfort, specifically the discomfort of a private company that doesn't like being filmed. This video isn't about security. It isn't about safety, and it certainly isn't about crime.
The best thing we can do is just ask you to move on, all right? Not record, obviously, from here. They're asking you not to do it, right? At the moment, he's saying that in the building and the business itself, they do obviously supply quite high secure goods across the world on flights.
Yeah.
And at the moment, it's just not appropriate, and obviously that's where we are with it. Okay. Now, in terms of what we're going to do as police, is we're going to do the same. We're just going to ask you to politely move on, just to obviously prevent any breach of the peace. Just to move on, go on your push bike and go and film a different place that is going to allow you to do that. Okay, and then it's just going to be end of sport. We will leave you to it. Okay. Ultimately, what we could potentially be facing is that if you're going to refuse to do that and allow for this business to move on with their day, we could be looking at other things then, couldn't we? Because what's happening here is this company now have had to send out managers and staff to obviously come and deal with yourself, and they're just kindly asking you, can you please...
Right here is where the encounter takes its first serious legal turn. The officer asks for the auditor's name, casually at first, but listen closely to what isn't said. There's no allegation of crime. No mention of reasonable suspicion. No reference to Section 50 of the Police Reform Act. In the UK, police do not have a blanket power to demand identification just because they've been called to a scene. Being present during a call does not magically erase your civil liberties. The auditor's response is calm, measured, and correct. He doesn't argue emotionally. He asks why. And that single word exposes the problem.
By all means,
I'm allowed.
Go the other side of the road. Obviously.
That's what I said I was going to do. I said I'm going to be over there.
Yeah.
Over there on that footpath.
You've asked to use their toilet. You're not allowed to do that.
No, I'm not going to.
You've asked to go in and have a tour. You're not allowed to do it, okay? There are rules in life that you have to follow.
No,
right?
I said to him, I said, go on.
For you to ask where the toilet is, if I can use the toilet, can I come in and have a tour? It's a no. All right?
No, I know you said no. That's no problem.
We're not going to get into it.
I'm not going to. I just asked him. I said, look, any chance I can use your toilet? He said, you must be joking. I said, fine.
Yeah.
I said, as I'm here, you know, would you like to give me a guided tour? I've got high vis. He said, no, I'm happy with that.
Right.
But I just want to go on a public footpath and do my video and a little bit of drone footage.
For the drone footage.
He doesn't own the airspace, officer.
But the problem is that as the manager, he's being quite respectful and polite to you, isn't he?
And
he's just saying, please sir, can you not do this, all right? Obviously, he knows a lot more than me and you about this company, all right? And he's saying that in the building itself, it's obviously quite a high secure place where they provide goods and materials to put on flights to travel, right?
I'm allowed to photograph in a public area.
I'm not saying you're not allowed to
Yeah,
photograph.
I'm allowed.
Go over there then.
That's
all
what I
right?
said I'd do.
Make yourself sparse. Obviously, take photos and stuff.
Yeah.
But please don't go putting a drone up. We've got our headquarters there. That's our police headquarters. I don't know if you're aware of that.
No.
Right? That's our police headquarters there for Gwent Police.
But I'm not doing Gwent Police.
So,
I'm doing.
But obviously, as you can see, there's only a matter of meters between these buildings. Okay. So Concordia, they're obviously quite a high secure building. We've got our premises there as Gwent Police.
But I'm allowed. I'm allowed to do my drone footage.
Now we hear the word secure being used repeatedly, and this is where many members of the public get misled. Secure building sound official. It sounds important, but legally, it means almost nothing unless specific restrictions are in place. A business describing itself as secure does not transform surrounding public land into a restricted zone. If you're standing on a public pavement, anything you can see with your own eyes can be photographed. Full stop. That what's happening here is subtle but significant. The police are acting as intermediaries for the company, translating a polite request into an implied obligation.
They have like red zones and
I'm not
amber
a drone
zones.
officer, but I can certainly check with the drone officer if that's where we're going to get to.
Yeah.
However, I feel that that's a little bit unnecessary for now. All right, and I think that what the best option here is just for you to obviously move on as you've been asked by a couple of people now. All right, but just move on, get on with your day. And
this is my day. I'm allowed. I'm not being.
Like I said, just go across the way then, and obviously.
Yeah, I was going to go across
across the way there. There's many other buildings on industrial estates that you can use.
Yeah, and
that you can photograph.
I will do them, but I was here, and what you're telling me is that. Because he don't like it,
it's not a case of him not liking it. He's the manager, isn't he? And what he's saying is that because of the nature of the materials and the goods that are inside of this building.
But it's not unlawful to do photography from a public place.
It's not. Let's not be awkward.
No.
Let's not make things difficult because otherwise they're going to end up difficult. Okay.
Why?
Well, because of obviously the sort of attitude that you're giving.
I'm not. All I'm doing is exercising my rights to film in a public area.
But like I've just said, the company are saying to you, you're not allowed to do it. Please don't do it because our business has things in there that we don't want publicised across the internet and stuff.
Do
you understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying, but I'm also exercising my rights. Okay, lawful rights as a citizen in England and Wales. I'm allowed to take photography in a public place unless...
Photography is different to drone though.
No, that's my first point. My second point is I'm allowed to put a drone up over any place.
Here's where frustration starts to creep in. Not because of illegality, but because the auditor refuses to play along socially. Asking for a toilet. Joking about a tour. Is it cheeky? Absolutely. Is it annoying? Maybe. Is it illegal? Not even close. And that distinction matters more than anything else in this interaction. The officer begins referencing rules in life rather than laws, which is often the moment an argument collapses. When authority figures can't point to legislation, they lean on moral framing instead. The auditor hasn't broken rules. He's broken expectations. And police officers are trained to expect compliance, not challenge.
That tells me I'm allowed, and you're telling me I'm not. Now that's not lawful. If you stop me, if you prevent me from doing that,
you're completely confusing what I've said. What I've said to you is that business are asking you not to. All right, they don't want you doing it. So can you not just respect that and be, respectful towards everybody involved here, and please just take your photographs, but they just don't want to drone up, okay?
But I am being respectful. I mean, I'm not getting into an argument or any conflict with you guys, but I am allowed to put a drone up, and you're saying, well, be respectful to them and don't put one up. But I'm allowed, and it's my right. It's my right to put a drone up in a public area. It is. If you tell me if you're going to arrest me if I do it, then what I'll do, I won't do it, but I'll go to my lawyer because I'm allowed, and I know my rights, and the rights are that you're allowed. The law says that you're allowed to take photography, including drone footage, in a public place.
Okay, what's your surname, please?
What?
What's your surname, please?
I'm not giving my name.
You're going to refuse to give details now, are you?
Well, unless you threaten me with some sort of arrest.
I'm a police officer, sir.
Yeah.
I don't threaten anyone.
Oh, right, okay.
I don't threaten.
So you're not going to threaten me with arrest if I don't give
Certainly
you...
not a threaten.
Okay.
I can use laws and powers,
Yeah.
but it's certainly not a threat.
But I've not done nothing wrong. I've got the...
Ultimately, what's happened here is that the police have been called.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm now having to deal with you as a person. Therefore, I'm asking for your name and date of birth.
Why?
Because you've been involved in a call that I'm actually dealing with.
Yeah, but I don't have to give... What? I mean, I don't understand why...
So then...
Now we move into drone territory, and this is where misinformation spreads fast. The officer references police headquarters being nearby, implying that proximity alone creates restrictions. It doesn't. Police don't own the sky. The Civil Aviation Authority does. Unless there's a flight restriction zone, NOTAM, or specific legal order in place, flying a drone in accordance with CAA rules is lawful, even if it makes people uncomfortable. The auditor clearly understands this, referencing apps and zones, while the officer hesitates and backtracks. Notice how the conversation shifts from "you can't" to "we'd prefer you didn't."
That are obviously dealing with you. I don't know who you are.
Yeah, I know,
Right?
but
I
I'm
need
just
to know who you are.
No, I'm a member of the public.
Yes, I appreciate that.
And I'm doing a lawful act. I'm doing photography and droning.
So why are you not, at the moment, you could be missing, you could even be wanted, right?
Yeah.
And ultimately, as a police officer, we have the right to take you to custody,
Yeah.
to identify who you are, if you do refuse to give details. You've been involved in a call, all right?
No, but
you've been involved in something that the police have been called for. So as a police officer, I'm requesting your name and your date of birth.
Yeah, but under what section? I don't understand. Under what section are you asking for my name and date of birth? Because I'm legally, and I don't want to go into civil law, into unlawful arrest and unlawful detention here. But if we go down that path, you know, we don't want to. I don't want to go unlawful detention, unlawful arrest, unlawful giving of my details, because that all goes.
It's not an unlawful giving of details by any stretch.
Okay, well, if you felt that I've committed a crime, then you know, or there's a section under PACE,
I just feel,
and I know PACE very, very well. If you want to try and, you know, determine my name and address, I'd like to know.
I think you're just being extremely difficult and challenging, and probably quite awkward at the moment.
I'm exercising my rights.
It's just a little bit awkward when a person is obviously not just cooperating, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, I'm just trying to do my job.
I know you are, but
we've been called because you're obviously causing some.
I was going over there.
But you're not, sir. I found you just here on the pavement,
in a public road.
Right, you're up against the barrier.
Well, I'll happily go over there and do my drone.
Go over there then.
I'll go over there and I'll take my photography from over there. I'm just being...
This is one of the most revealing moments in the entire encounter. The officer labels the auditor as awkward and difficult. In policing terms, that's code for non-compliant but lawful. When officers run out of legal leverage, they often turn to character judgments, framing the citizen as the problem rather than the lack of authority. But exercising your rights is not an attitude problem. It's not antisocial, and it's certainly not grounds for detention. The auditor correctly separates law from opinion, repeatedly grounding the conversation in legality.
I'm not causing any trouble, officer. I just wanted to do what I...
Yeah, no, it's like I said, I just find, like, when you're refusing to give something as simple as a name to a police officer, obviously it comes across as quite awkward, and that's probably my personal opinion of it, okay? And it's just sometimes it can make it a lot more difficult than it needs to be. On this occasion, obviously I've asked you to come from the building line, which you have. Photographs, they're like, that's fine, take a photograph, no problem. They've asked you not to put a drone up, all right? That's come from the business manager. I can only advise for you not to do that.
Okay.
All right, if you don't listen to it, potentially they're going to call us back and it'll have to be escalated. But unfortunately, it can sometimes come across like that when a person is refusing to leave, obviously, making things a little bit difficult, okay? So yeah, just please don't go doing anything silly. Please don't enter the building. Please don't enter past that barrier.
No.
All right, this pathway here, the pavement there, obviously that's public access, fine. But anything through the barrier, that's obviously their property, okay? And they can then again ask for you to leave.
To be honest, if they come out again and cause me hassle, I'll just move on. Because I don't want no trouble.
I'd probably advise for you to move on, but obviously you don't want to do that, do you?
Well, I'm just going to do a little bit of photography. It's only going to be 10-15 minutes.
No, I know that, but
and then I'll
as
be
I've
gone.
explained to you, in there they do high security goods, and that's why they're saying as a business, please don't do it. But but as a police officer, obviously you don't want to, go down. We don't want to be causing any further issues for you. Okay, so just please respect what's been said. All right.
Thanks, officer.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
This is the most dangerous point of the encounter, the implied arrest bluff. The officer suggests that refusing to identify could lead to custody to find out who you are. That's simply false. Under PACE Section 24, an arrest must be necessary and based on reasonable suspicion of an offense. None exists here. Being unknown to police is not a crime. Being involved in a call is not a crime. The auditor does something extremely smart here. He calmly references unlawful arrest and detention, effectively putting the officers on notice. And look what happens. The tone changes. This encounter ends not with enforcement, but with retreat, and that tells you everything you need to know. The auditor moves, de-escalates, and continues lawfully. No arrest, no charges, no crime. What we witnessed was a prolonged attempt to substitute convenience for legality, and it failed because the auditor stayed calm, informed, and consistent. The key takeaway is simple. Police powers are defined by law, not by calls for service, business discomfort, or personal opinions. Cooperation with the law does not require surrendering your rights. And knowing that distinction is what protects both citizens and the integrity of policing itself.